as for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Currently, technically, in a wild card spot. Again, if they win out, they still win the division. They would be the 2 seed, assuming that the Niners would have the same record as them, if not better. The Niners, we'll talk about them later. They've got a great setup for the final 4 weeks of the season. Philadelphia Eagles, for the first 2 months of the season, you're like, well, they're winning games when they don't look great. They don't look like last year's team, but there's still time. Still time. And then they go in that very difficult stretch of their season with just 1 loss. And the difficult stretch of their season was right before the bye. Home for Dallas, then a bye, then at Kansas City. Home for Buffalo, home for San Francisco, at Dallas. And then that 6-game stretch finishes up on next Monday night at Seattle. And they beat Dallas and they beat Kansas City in games where it looked really dicey for them. And they survived. And that happened home against Buffalo as well. And for some reason, this team was having struggles still, but coming up with wins against the most quality opponents you could name. Truly. And we were calling them, if you can call a team that damn near won the Super Bowl last year, plucky. But they were overcoming and winning those gritty games, right? There's no pictures in the standings type wins. And now with back-to-back smoke job losses, blowouts, to the teams that are right there with them in the race for the 1 seed in the NFC, and are the teams that you would have to figure are the ones they will have to get past to get back to the Super Bowl. In losing at home to San Francisco in the manner in which they lost, and then losing at Dallas in the manner in which they lost, they've gone from plucky to lucky. Lucky to have had Dak step out of bounds in Philadelphia. Lucky to have gotten 3 fumbles recovered by them in that game. Lucky to have Marquez Valdez-Scantling have a clear go-ahead touchdown late in that game, if not a game winner, go right off his hands, a perfect dime from Mahomes. Lucky to have had that happen. Lucky to have come back from a 10-point deficit at halftime in that game. Lucky to have come back from a 10-point deficit against the Bills, because the Bills had figured out everything on their offensive side of the ball, where, again, in the first half in Kansas City yesterday was the latest in that narrative that they've fixed their offense and Allen looks like Josh Allen. That guy showed up in Philadelphia and threw one way, and Gabe Davis went the other way in overtime, and had they connected, the Eagles were going to lose that one, and they were lucky that that happened and that the Bills defense allowed a touchdown for Philadelphia in the ensuing possession, and lucky that Philadelphia won that game. Now, we're calling them lucky to have a 10-3 record. And I don't know how you fix what's going on there. I mean, obviously, if Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith don't all fumble and they don't lose the fumbles, might have been a different, margin of difference? I don't know. Would it have been a different game? I think so.
Didn't feel like Dallas was going to lose that one, but, it might have been a little bit closer.
They have an opportunity to pull it out in a plucky fashion again.
Yeah.
But the team that was dominant last year has yet to walk through that door this year with consistency. And now they've got to go to Seattle to take on a Seattle team that does appear to be beatable, but you never know up there in Seattle. Certainly since Dallas was lucky that Seattle had trouble or didn't have a brotherly shove play of their own on those 4th and shorts that they couldn't convert on that first Thursday of Week 13. But that's a Dallas issue. This is a Philadelphia issue, and they do not appear to have the back end of the defense and the front end of that defense working together well enough to stop an opponent that has an offense that can get going. And Seattle has shown that to be the case. This is Jalen Hurts after the game on Sunday night.
Yeah, I think there's a number of things, right? When you think about why isn't something operating in the fashion of maybe we expected to, or may expect it to. And it's just all about controlling the things that we can. You want to be disciplined, you want to operate in a high manner, you want to eliminate penalties and obviously produce points and get stops, turnovers, and do things like that. But this is something we're going through, not necessarily stuck in, and that's something that I believe in. We have to be able to learn from it, and we will. It's an eagerness to just continue to press on.
I like it. It's a way through, right? There's a way through, not getting stuck. I do love the way he speaks and leads. He's not playing very well right now. And the run game is not just stiff-arming people, and the drops and all that is an issue for this team. But there's 4 games to go. After the game at Seattle, there's a ton of winnable football games for the Philadelphia Eagles. They play the Giants twice, and Arizona comes to their house. And I would assume they saw what happened last time Arizona visited Pennsylvania, and like, that's not happening on the east side of the state, I'll tell you that. And all they got to do is win those 4 football games. They get the 2 seed, maybe the 1, and then we'll see what happens when people have to come to their house. And let the chips fall where they may after that. But this stretch of 6 games, very difficult. They are 3-2 in them, and if they won't go 4-2 in it, I promise you they'd assign for that after week 8, going into week 9. So there's that. But it doesn't look very good for them right now. 4 games to go. It's anybody's guess who wins the Super Bowl, and I kind of dig that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.